Good morning, everyone. In the previous session, we understood the introduction for DevOps and what are the roles and responsibilities of the DevOps engineer in the software project. DevOps is a culture. DevOps is a process. We can say that DevOps is a process or DevOps is a culture. So the full form of the DevOps nothing but development plus operations. DevOps is a process which is used to collaborate development and operational works in the project development lifecycle. So by using this DevOps culture, we can deliver the project to the client quickly with quality, right? So if you go for a project, development team will be available and operational team also will be available. Development team will be available, operational team also will be available. So here if you see, development team is going to understand the requirements. They are going to design the project. They are going to develop the project and they are going to test it. And they will, whatever the code they develop, that code they are going to store into GitHub. So these are the roles and responsibilities of development team in the project, right? Once the development team work is completed, then operations team work is going to start. Operations team is responsible for some activities in the project. Mainly, operations team should set up infrastructure required to run our application, and they need to automate build and deployment activities of our application. In infrastructure setup, they are going to do the machines setup. That means computers which are required to run our application. They are going to set up the servers which are required to run our application, database required to run our application. Then they will do the automation for code deployment to the servers, like taking the code from the GitHub, packaging that code, deploying that code, delivering the project to the client. So this build and deployment activity, infrastructure setup activity will be available for operations team that we discussed in the previous session. Development team is responsible for these activities. Operational team is responsible for these activities. Okay, now here infrastructure setup. Infrastructure setup means all the softwares, the hardwares which are required to run our application, we need to configure. Instead of we are doing that infrastructure manually on-prem, instead of we are purchasing all these softwares and setting up in our company to run our application, nowadays people are going for cloud infrastructure like AWS. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. Instead of we are purchasing the infrastructure, we can take the infrastructure for rent from the AWS, Amazon Web Services, and we can configure. Infrastructure setup can be done in two ways. One is on-prem infrastructure, another one is cloud infrastructure. On-prem infrastructure means we have to purchase each and everything and we have to configure. It requires a lot of money and time. Instead of setting up on-prem infrastructure, we can go for cloud infrastructure. If we go for cloud infrastructure, we can take all the softwares for rent, then cloud provider will manage infrastructure for us. We just need to use infrastructure and pay money for our usage. Now, AWS is one of the leading cloud provider available in the market. Next, Linux. Whatever the infrastructure setup we'll do, that we will perform on Linux machines only. So we need to have the knowledge on Linux operating system that will be covered as part of our course. Next, build and deployment. Developers are going to write that some code. That code will be available in the repository. Then DevOps engineer should take the code from the repository, should build, should deploy, should deliver. Now developers. So here developers will be available. The developers are going to write the code, and whatever the code that they develop, they are going to store that code into GitHub. As a DevOps engineer, will take the code from the GitHub, will build that code, will deploy that code, and will deliver that code to the client. So these are the activities that we are going to perform. DevOps engineer will automate project build and deployment. So here if you see, infrastructure setup will be done by the DevOps engineer. and the project build and deployment activities also will done by the DevOps engineer. Developers will write the code. Developers will keep the code into GitHub. DevOps engineer should take the code from the GitHub, should perform the build and deployments, and need to perform infrastructure setup also. In order to do the infrastructure setup, we are using AWS cloud and with the Linux machines. So Linux we need to know, AWS also we need to know to do the infrastructure setup. To automate this build and deployment activities in the project, we are going to use several tools. Those are called as DevOps tool chain. Build tools will be available, repository tools will be available, deployment tools will be available, code review tools, configuration management tools, containers tool, orchestration tool, application monitoring tool, log monitoring tool, artifacts, and infrastructure setup. Like that, there are several tools available in the market. By using these tools, we are going to perform DevOps operations in our application. By using all these tools, we are going to automate build and deployment. So as we discussed, first we will learn the Linux, because we need to know how to work with Linux machines, how to install a server on the Linux, how to write the script on the Linux, how to set up DB on the Linux, all the operations you do in the company on the Linux machine. So Linux also we are going to learn. Then shell scripting, whatever the regular work we do manually, that manual work can be automated by using shell scripting. Then next one, AWS cloud, we are going to do the setup of infrastructure on the cloud. Then we will use the DevOps tool chain to automate the build and deployment activity. Then some projects we are going to implement with the DevOps and AWS real-time projects we will implement here to get the practical knowledge. Then we will do interview preparation. What are the questions that they are going to ask and how to prepare the resume, those things we are going to discuss. So it is a 120 days of challenge that we discuss. From today, our challenge is going to start. So daily 1.5 hour class will be available for you, and 2.5 hours practice you need to do. So total you need to spend 4 hours per day. Then only you can become a good DevOps with AWS engineer. Classes will be available from Monday to Saturday, and a laptop is mandatory to attend the classes. Daily class notes and backup videos also will be shared. Daily class notes and backup videos also will be shared with you. So it is going to take 3.5 months of time. So total 120 days that you need to spend minimum 3.5 months to 4 months approximately. I'm giving 120 days. That means approximately 4 months. Course will take 3 to 3.5 months plus or minus 10 days buffer I am keeping. So that's why I told 120 days. And how to do enrollment for this course, in order to get the backup videos, in order to get the class notes, to add it to the Telegram group. I have shared the payment details also in the last session. Few people completed payment and a few people payment is still pending. So please complete it today so that you will get all the access. All right. Now let's get started with new topic today. So that is software development lifecycle. So being a DevOps engineer, you need to have the clarity on how a project is getting developed in the company. That is software development lifecycle, SDLC. Software development lifecycle is also called as SDLC. Now, so for every project, a lifecycle will be available. The steps that are carried out to the process of completing one software project is called as development lifecycle. From beginning to ending, what are the steps we are going to follow to complete a software project from beginning to ending is called as software development lifecycle. So what are the steps, that what is the procedure we are going to follow to complete a software project from beginning to ending is called as software development lifecycle. The process of completing software project from beginning to ending is called as software development life cycle. Software development life cycle. The process of beginning and completing a software project. The process of completing a software project from beginning to ending is called as software development life cycle. Now, everything will have a life cycle now. Humans having a life cycle. Birth to death, that is our life cycle. Birth to death is a life cycle. So similarly, a software project development also having a life cycle. That means from where it is beginning and where it is ending. What is the starting point and what is the ending point of the project is called as development life cycle. In software development life cycle, several phases are available. Software development lifecycle having several phases. Software development lifecycle having several phases. Now, what are the phases available in development lifecycle? That means how a company will develop a software project. Guys, you need to understand this procedure because as a DevOps engineer, you should have the clarity on how the project development is getting started. So the process of completing software project from beginning to ending, the process of implementing software project from the process of implementing, we can say, the process of implementing software project from beginning to ending is called as project development lifecycle. Software development lifecycle having several phases. The very first phase, that if I want to develop a project, first we need to collect the requirements gathering. That means if you want to develop a project, first you need to collect the requirement. What is the requirement to develop a project? Requirements gathering we have to do. That means what is the client business, what client is expecting, the requirements we need to collect from the client. This is the very first step in the development life cycle. Client will come to you, hey Ashok, can you develop a project for my construction business? So if we want to develop a project for the construction business, first of all, what is the requirement of the client? What kind of project the client is expecting? What functionalities should be there in the project? So we need to discuss that with the client and we need to gather the requirements from the client. So that is called requirements gathering. Once the requirements gathering completed, then analysis. So whatever the requirements given by the client, we need to analyze. Can we implement these requirements or not? Can we develop these requirements in our company? Can we develop these requirements or not? That we have to analyze. Once this analysis got completed, now next thing is we need to go for design, planning. Design is also called as planning. We need to prepare a plan how to implement these requirements. First step is requirements gathering. Second step, requirements analysis. Third step is designing, or I can say planning. Fourth step is the implementation. Whatever the plan we have done, that is implementation. Implementation is also called as development. We are as per the plan. We have prepared a plan. As per the plan, we are going to do the development. Then testing. Whatever we have implemented, is it working as expected by the client or not? We have to test. Then after testing, deployment. We need to deploy the project to the server to run. Deployment means we are going to take the code which is done by the developers and we are going to deploy that code into server. Once the deployment completed, then deliver, then maintenance will be available for a project. So these are the phases that are involved in the project development. Project development means it's not a single step. So there are several steps involved. So this is the process of completing one software project, or this is the procedure that companies are going to follow to develop a software project. The process of implementing software project from beginning to ending is called as development lifecycle. Software development lifecycle having several phases. So there are 7 to 8 phases are available in the development lifecycle. So development lifecycle means from beginning to ending, what we are going to do to complete one project for a client. So that is called development lifecycle, the end-to-end procedure. So there are several phases involved in completing one software project. So could you please read these phases now? First one is requirements gathering. Second one, analysis. Third one is designing. Fourth one is implementation. Fifth one is the testing. Sixth one is the deployment. Seventh one is the delivery. Eighth one is the maintenance. All of you, could you please read the steps? What are the phases available? Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Could you please read them? Could you please read them? Requirements we have to collect from the client. What is the client requirement we need to understand? Then we have to analyze those requirements. Then we have to design, and we have to, designing nothing but preparing a plan. Then we have to do the implementation. Then we have to do the testing, then deployment, then deliver, then maintenance. Software development lifecycle. The process of implementing a project from beginning to ending is called as development lifecycle. Several phases are there. So if not only one company, guys, every company will follow same procedure to develop a project. Every company will follow the same procedure to develop a project, because clients will be available. Clients will do different kind of businesses. As per client business, we need to develop the project. So client will come up with a requirement. Client will give the requirements. Whatever the requirement given by the client, every requirement may not possible to implement, all the requirements given by the client. So before going to do the implementation, we have to do the analysis. Can we do this requirement or not? Can we implement this requirement or not? That analysis we have to complete. After gathering the requirements, analyze. Once analysis is done, what are the requirements given by the client and what requirements we are going to develop? So once that requirements are finalized, after analysis, requirements will be finalized, then we are going to prepare a plan. So what is the procedure that we need to do? What is the procedure we need to follow to implement that planning we are going to do? After the planning, we will do the implementation. That means the coding. Development will happen at the fourth phase. Developments will happen from the fourth phase. Then after, testing is going to happen for the project. Deployment is going to happen. Delivery will happen. Maintenance is going to happen. In this development life cycle, sir, as a DevOps engineer, where we are going to involve in this development life cycle? Throughout SDLC phases, you are going to involve. Sir, we are going to deliver now. We are going to deploy now. So are we going to start our work from the sixth phase as a DevOps engineer? No. As a DevOps engineer, you will be involved in all the phases of the SDLC. Throughout SDLC, developers, testers, DevOps engineers will be involved in all the phases of the SDLC. So some people may think that, sir, as a DevOps engineer, we are responsible to deploy the application. Na? Deployment is a sixth phase, right? So are we going to start the work at the sixth phase? No, that is wrong assumption. Here, in order to do the implementation development, developers need some environment. You are responsible to create that environment for the developers. Testers are required to test the application. For testers to test the application, they need one environment. You need to prepare that environment. That means you will be involved in all the phases of the SDLC, not at the sixth phase directly. As a developer, as a DevOps engineer, people should involve in all the phases of the SDLC. You need to have the clarity on the project from beginning to ending. So you should get involved in all the phases of the SDLC. Now, there are several SDLC methodologies are available. There are several SDLC methodologies are available. There are several SDLC methodologies are available, like waterfall methodology, spiral methodology, iterative methodology, V methodology, like that. There are several methodologies are available. Here I'm going to talk about two methodologies, guys. One is waterfall methodology and the second one is agile methodology. So now SDLC is available. SDLC we can follow in several ways. Waterfall is one of the SDLC methodology. Agile is also one of the SDLC methodology. Now, let us talk about waterfall methodology. Let us talk about waterfall methodology. What is going to happen when we follow SDLC with the waterfall? I want to implement my project by using SDLC, software development lifecycle. But SDLC contains several phases, or several phases are available in the SDLC. How we will follow those phases? Right, there are several SDLC methodologies are available. So what are those SDLC methodologies? First one is waterfall, and currently the first methodology that came into the IT industry, that is waterfall in the SDLC. SDLC is the first SDLC methodology which introduced in the IT, and Agile is the current trending methodology for SDLC. Are you guys getting my point? There are several SDLC methodologies are available. First one is waterfall methodology, and the current trend in the market is agile methodology. Waterfall methodology. Waterfall methodology was the first and foremost methodology that got introduced in IT industry. The first methodology that people followed in the IT industry is the waterfall only. Waterfall is the first SDLC methodology that introduced into market. Waterfall is the first SDLC methodology that got introduced. Waterfall is the first methodology that got introduced in SDLC. Waterfall is a linear methodology. Waterfall is a linear approach. Waterfall follows linear approach. Waterfall methodology follows linear approach. That means what are the phases are available in our project development lifecycle? Waterfall will follow linear approach to complete one project. Waterfall will follow linear approach to complete the project. What is the meaning of linear approach? First step, after first step is completed, then only we will go for second step. After second step completed, then only we go for third step. After third step completed, then only go for fourth step. After fourth step completed, then only go for fifth step. Like this, it is going to follow a linear approach, one after other. If one phase, if one step completed, if after completing one step, then only we will go for next step in the waterfall methodology. Waterfall methodology follows linear approach. After completion of one step, then only we will go for next step. In this methodology, after completing one step, then only we will go for next step. After completing one step, then only we will go for next step. It is a linear approach. In waterfall methodology, we can't go to previous step. We can't go in backward direction. In waterfall methodology, we cannot go in backward direction. In waterfall methodology, now for example, so requirements are gathered, analysis completed, design completed, development started. We are in the middle of the development. When we are in the development phase, can client change the requirement? Can client change the requirement? We completed 3 steps. We are in the 4th step. When we are doing the implementation of the project, client want to change the requirement. Can we go back and change the requirement of the project? Is it possible in the waterfall? No. Waterfall is a linear approach. We are going to do everything step by step, one after other, we are going to implement. Once you gather requirements, analysis, design completed, then client cannot change the requirement. We are in the development phase. We will go only in the forward direction. We cannot go in the backward direction in the waterfall. So that is what in the waterfall methodology, we will follow linear approach. In this methodology, after completing one step, then only we will go for next step. In waterfall methodology, we cannot go in backward direction. It's a only forward direction. We can go only forward direction. Only forward direction it is going to support. All right. Now, client requirements and budget is fixed for the project. Initially, whatever the requirements given by the client and what is the budget that is decided, that is fixed. Requirements and budget is fixed for the project. Okay, this is my project. You have to develop this project with these requirements. I will give you 1 crore. That's it. The requirements are fixed and budget also fixed for the project. So we cannot change the requirements in the middle of the project. Whatever the requirements are finalized and whatever the budget is finalized, that requirements and budget is fixed for the project in this waterfall methodology. And the second thing is client involvement. Client involvement is very less in the project. Client involvement is very less in the project. Client will see the project at the end. Client will see the project. Client will see the project at the end of SDLC. Client will see the project at the end of SDLC. Client involvement will be very less here. Requirements are fixed. Budget is fixed for the project. Client involvement is very less in the project. Client will see the project at the end of SDLC. Waterfall is one of the SDLC methodology that people will follow to develop the project. In the IT, waterfall was the first methodology that introduced to develop the projects. Waterfall is the first SDLC methodology that got introduced in the market. Waterfall methodology follows linear approach. Linear approach means a straight approach, one after other, one after other. First step completed, then go for second step. Second step completed, then go for third step. Like this, waterfall methodology follows linear approach to develop the project. In this methodology, after completing one step, then only we will go for next step. In this methodology, we can't go in the backward direction. This methodology supports only forward direction. When you go for waterfall, requirements are fixed and budget is also fixed for the project. Client involvement is very less in the project because requirements are fixed, budget is fixed. The client will not see the project. He can't understand what's happening in the project. At the end, only client is going to see the project. Client will see the project at the end of SDLC. Client will see the project at the end of SDLC. Client will see the project at the end of the SDLC. Now, let us take a simple scenario to understand waterfall is suitable in today's world or not. Okay, guys, now client has given 100 requirements for us. Client has given 100 requirements to develop one e-commerce application. 100 requirements given by the client to develop one e-commerce application. Now we have done the analysis on this 100 requirements. We got the functionality clarity. We have done the analysis, right? Then we told to the client that this project will take 2 years of time. The project budget is 2 crores. 2 years time, 2 crores money. 2 years time, 2 crores money. That is what the deal happened between IT company and client. Client want to start one e-commerce business, like how Flipkart application is there, Amazon application is there. Similarly, there is one client who want to start one e-commerce business. So for that client, a website is required to start the e-commerce business. So client came to one company. Company analyzed, company gathered all the requirements from the client, analyzed it. Finally, company told that to develop your project, 2 years of time is required for us, and 2 crores is the budget of your project. Then client will give 2 years of time and 2 crores of money. Then company is going to develop the project one after other, one after other. It is going to follow waterfall methodology. It is going to follow waterfall methodology. When the client will see the project, for every month, client can see the project, or client will see the project at the end. Client will see the project at the end. Client will see the project at the end. 2020 project started. 2020 project started. Okay. 2021 off completed. Okay. 2022 total completed, full completed. Okay. Now in 2022 they completed the project. Client has seen this project in the 2022. Whatever they have done, client is not satisfied with that. Whatever the implementation, they told that whatever they have done, client is not satisfied with that implementation, because the company has taken some college freshers for less package and they have implemented the project with less quality. Client not satisfied with the project. Then what is the problem? If client is not satisfied, then what is the problem? Client is seeing he has given the requirement to the company in the 2020. As per their time, 2 years, 2022, 2 years completed. They told that project completed. Now they deliver the project to the client. Client has seen the project. There is no quality. So many problems are there in the project. It is not working as expected. The project is not working as expected. The reason is the company who has done the development, they want to save more money. They have taken 20 freshers who just completed their BTech. They don't have a real experience. They are freshers. With the freshers, the company has done this project. With the freshers, the company has done this project. Freshers means they are not good in project development. They just know the concept. They are not good in the implementation. So quality is not there in the project. There are so many problems in the project. Project is not looking good. 2 years time waste, 2 crores money waste. Guys, if this is the situation, client will be affected or not? Client, whatever the business that client want to start, the application is not ready to start the business. 2 years time wasted, 2 crores of rupees money also wasted. He is not in the position to start the business now. It is a huge loss for that. Huge loss for the client. And one more thing is here, 2 years back, whatever the ideas client got, can he survive with those business ideas today in the 2022? Can we say that the ideas are old? 2 years back ideas, can you implement today? n number of people are coming up with new ideas every day in this competition world. So whatever the idea you got 2 years back, after that Corona came, everything got changed. Now, whatever your idea 2 years back, today that idea is not going to work out. Those ideas we can say outdated ideas. With your ideas today, you may not survive. Your ideas are got affected. Whatever the idea you got 2 years back, other businessman also got the same idea. He implemented the project and he is using that business. He is running the business from last 1 year. Then your idea is outdated. So now tell me, in the current market, can we follow this waterfall methodology? Simple example. I will take every example in my batch, guys. Now, assume that you are a client, you have given one business to one builder. So this is your land. This is your land. You want to construct one apartment. You want to construct one apartment, like some towers will be available. Tower 1, tower 2, tower 3. In your land, you want to construct 3 towers. In every tower, 5 floors. Tower 1, tower 2, tower 3. Okay. Now you are the client. So for example, your name is some Raju. You are the client, or I can say landowner. Landowner. Now there is another person called Mahesh. Mahesh, who is builder. Builder. Now you are the landowner. Your name is Raju, and I'm taking a builder called Mahesh. He is going to construct the apartments for you. Now you told to Mahesh, hey Mahesh, I want to construct apartment, 3 towers, each tower with 3 floors. 3 towers I want, 3 towers, each tower with 5 floors. Each tower with 5 floors. Each floor, one 3 BHK and one 2 BHK flats. So this is my requirement. This is my requirement. I want to construct one apartment. I have a land. I want to construct one apartment. So here, instead of constructing everything in one tower, I'm dividing them into 3 towers. So 3 towers should be constructed here. Each tower should have 5 floors. Each floor, one 3 BHK and one 2 BHK flat I want. Each floor should have one 3 BHK and one 2 BHK flat we want. One 2 BHK flat we want in the each floor. Each tower should have 5 floors. 5 into 3, 15. 15 into 2, 30. Total 30 flats should come. Total 30 flats should come. So this is my requirement. This is the requirement. Raju is the landowner. Mahesh is the builder. Raju told the requirement to Mahesh. I want to construct apartments in my land. So instead of constructing everything in one tower, I want to construct them into 3 towers. In every tower, 5 floors are required. In every floor, one 3 BHK flat should be there and one 2 BHK flat should be there. This is the requirement. Okay. Mahesh told that, yes, okay, we can do that. We can construct 3 towers also. Give us 1 year time. Give us 1 year time, and for each tower 5 floors, right? So total give us 1 year time and give us 3 crores money. That is the deal. 3 years time, 3 crores money. This is the budget. So that Mahesh told that, hey Raju, we are very good in this construction field. We can construct an apartment for your land, no problem. Whatever the requirement you have given, we understood completely, and we have the team also we have the construction field people, we have the material, we have everything. You give 1 year time and you give 3 crores money. For every tower 1 crore, 5 floors. So 1 year time, 3 crores money if you give, then we can construct a beautiful apartments for you. That is the deal between the landowner and the builder. Okay, now we have given this requirement. We have given this requirement and I have given 3 crores money for the Mahesh. So today, if I give 3 crores money, can I come after 1 year and can I see my apartment? Assume that you are the landowner now. So here I am the builder. I'm the builder. My name is Ashok. Let me name it so that we can understand it easily. Now, my name is Ashok. I'm a builder and your name is Raju. You are the landowner. You have a requirement to construct this apartment. You told your requirement. I understood requirement clearly. Okay, done. 1 year time frame and 3 crores budget that you need to provide me. Okay, today our agreement completed. We are good to go. Today you are going to pay 3 crores money. Okay, fine. You have sent 3 crores money. So today is 13th June 2022. Can you come after 1 year, 13th June 2023 to see your apartment? Will you come to your land after 1 year to see the apartment? Will you come after 1 year to see your apartment? Or every day you will come and you will check your apartment construction, how the construction is happening, which material we are using for the construction, how the walls are there, how the slabs are there, what is the iron we are using, what is the steel we are using, how the electricity we are making. Are you going to observe that construction every day, or you are going to come after 1 year to see the apartment? Come on, sir. If you come after 1 year, apartment is completed, you came after 1 year, exactly same day, 2023 June 13th, you come to see your apartment. When you come after 1 year, to see your apartment, if you don't like my construction, if you don't like the quality of the walls, quality of the cement, quality of the slab, then if you don't like it after 1 year, then again you will collapse that building and again you will construct the apartment. 3 crores of rupees you have invested. Can you collapse that apartment? Can you construct one more apartment in the same place? Hare, Ashok has not done this construction properly, Ra. So please collapse this building. Then construct one more new apartment. Will anybody do like that? Will you do like that? No. So when you are giving a contract for the builder to construct your house, every day, morning and evening, you need to go to that place and you need to see how the construction is happening, how the quality is there, what cement they are using, what iron they are using, what steel they are using, okay, what sand they are using. Each and everything we have to monitor every day. Then only we can get the quality. Then only we can get the quality. If you don't see that every day, if you come after 1 year, apartment will be ready, but if the quality is not there, then it is a loss for you. It is a loss for you because you wasted 1 year of time and you wasted 3 crores of money. So similarly, now guys, anybody will give a contract to the builder and will come after 1 year to see your building, or every day you will see how the construction is happening for your building? I want to understand, guys. Now, if you are the landowner, then how you will do this construction? How you will manage this? Every day you are going to monitor how the construction is happening. If you come after 1 year, if quality is not there, it is a loss, huge loss for you. 1 year time loss, waste, and 3 crores of money will be wasted. So as a landowner, every day you need to come and you need to see how the builder is doing the construction for our apartments. This is very common scenario in the construction field. Am I right? Same thing, client has given the requirement for the company. Company told, 2 years time, 2 crores money. Company told. Now how the apartments are constructing? By the construction companies. Similarly, software companies are constructing software projects. Client A has given 100 requirements, 2 years time, 2 crores money. 2 years time, 2 crores money. Do you think that client will come after 2 years to check our project? Do you think that clients will come after 2 years to check our project? If client comes after 2 years to check the project, if client don't like our project implementation, client will be in the loss. Time waste, money waste for the client. Time waste and money waste for the clients. So now tell me, if you go for waterfall methodology, when client will see the project? Client will see the project every day, or client will see the project at the end of the SDLC? Client will see the project at the end. Already time wasted, money completed, time completed. If client see the project at the end, if you don't like that project, then it is going to be wasted. Now tell me, is it recommended to develop the projects by using waterfall methodology? Nowadays, that was the first methodology which came 20 years ago. Are we going to follow that methodology in the IT today to develop a project? No. Why we are not going to develop the projects by using waterfall? Can you tell me this? Why we are not going to develop the projects by using waterfall? Can you tell me this? Guys, come on. Waterfall follows linear approach. After one step is completed, then only we will go for the next step. We will go only in the forward direction. We will not go in the backward direction. And in this, requirements are fixed, budget is also fixed. In this, requirements are fixed and budget also fixed. Client involvement is very less in the project, and the client will see the project at the end of the SDLC. 2 years back, whatever the idea client got, after 1 year, client got another idea. Client wants some changes in the requirements. Company is going to accept the changes in the requirement in the waterfall methodology. Company will not accept the changes in the waterfall methodology. Company will accept the changes in the waterfall methodology, or company will not accept the changes in the waterfall methodology. Company will not accept the changes in the waterfall methodology. Waterfall is a linear methodology. Waterfall is a linear methodology. 2 years back, a client gave the requirements, company delivering the project this year today. But whatever the idea client got 2 years back, other person in the business, other company got the same idea. They have implemented that idea already. So client business is going to affect with that. So that's why this waterfall methodology is not suitable in the current IT industry. Waterfall methodology is not suitable in the current IT industry. Now, waterfall methodology is useful for simple applications, small applications. I want to develop one application for one small school, a small hospital. Okay, a very simple, your project is very simple. Requirements are not going to change in the future. Requirements are not going to change in the future. Budget is not going to change in the future. Your project is very simple. Then if your requirements are fixed and if your budget is fixed, then only we should go for waterfall methodology. If you want to develop a big application, then waterfall methodology is not suitable. Now, currently, this waterfall methodology got outdated in the market. Now see here, the diagrams also you can see for the waterfall. Waterfall methodology is nothing but linear. How the water will flow, in the same way, waterfall methodology will be available. You see the diagram for waterfall. Requirements, design, development, testing, deployment, delivery, and maintenance. Step by step, waterfall. Once the requirements gathering completed, then only we will go for the designing. Once the designing completed, then only we will go for the development. Once the development is completed, then only we will go for the testing. Once the testing is completed, then only we will go for the deployment. Once the deployment completed, then only we will go for maintenance. For example, we are in the testing phase. When we are in the testing phase, can we change the requirement? When we are in the development already completed, we are in the testing phase. Can we go and change the requirement? Can client change the requirement? When we are in the testing phase, can client change the requirement? Or client cannot change the requirement? When we are in the testing phase, client cannot change the requirements. So because waterfall is a linear approach, we are going to follow everything in the sequence. After requirements gathering, then design. After design, then development. After development, then testing. When we are in the testing, you cannot go on to change the requirement. From the testing, after testing, you should go to deployment. You should go only in the forward direction. It is not accepted to go in the backward direction. Company will not accept it because requirements are finalized. Client cannot change the requirements once the project started. Budget is fixed. Requirements are fixed. So to implement small scale applications, then it is recommended to go for a waterfall model. But to implement complex applications, it is not at all recommended to go for waterfall model. Waterfall is the linear model which will follow everything one after other. Yep. Guys, you understand what is software development lifecycle? And as a DevOps engineer, where you will get involved in the development lifecycle? So can anyone tell me what is development lifecycle? The process of implementing a software project from the beginning to ending is called as software development lifecycle. The process of implementing software project from beginning to ending is called as development lifecycle, which is also called as SDLC, the process that we are going to follow. Software development lifecycle having several phases. One is requirements gathering. Second one is analysis. Third one is designing. Fourth one is implementation. Fifth one, testing. Sixth one is deployment, deliver, and maintenance. So these are the several phases will be available for every project. Companies are going to follow these phases to develop and deliver the project. So there are several methodologies are available in the SDLC. SDLC having some phases, but how company will follow those phases, it depends upon which SDLC methodology they are going to use to develop and deliver the project. Now, if a company is following the waterfall methodology, that means it is a linear approach. One after other, the project will be implemented. Waterfall is the first methodology that got introduced in the SDLC. Waterfall methodology follows linear approach. In this methodology, after completing one step, then only we will go for next step. In waterfall methodology, we can't go in the backward direction. It supports only forward direction. Requirements and budget is fixed for the project in the waterfall methodology. And client involvement is very less in this project. Client will see the project at the end of the SDLC. At the end of the SDLC. For complex applications, it is not recommended to use waterfall methodology. Waterfall is required. Waterfall is recommended only for small scale applications. That means very simple, less number of requirements, a simple application. For that only we can go for waterfall. Waterfall is recommended only for small scale applications. Small scale applications. It is not recommended. It is not recommended for large scale applications. Large scale applications, nothing but big applications. Big application. In today's world, every day, the requirements are changing. In today's world, every day, the requirements are changing as per public, as per people needs. As per people needs. Project requirements will be changed to meet the customer requirements. In today's world, every day, the requirements are changing to meet customer needs. To meet customer needs. Customer needs. Every day the requirements are changing as per customer needs. Okay, now if you go for waterfall, it is not accepted to change the requirements. Always we need to keep on updating our project functionality to meet the customer needs and to get more market. We need to implement the new ideas and we need to deliver the project into the market before our competitors. Okay, now so here to meet today's to meet the customer requirements, we are going to implement the project by using Agile methodology. Okay, so to overcome the problems of this waterfall, we are going to, in today's world, nowadays companies are using Agile methodology to develop software projects. Nowadays, IT companies are following Agile methodology to develop the project, to develop and deliver the project. Nowadays, IT companies are following Agile methodology to develop and deliver the project. In Agile methodology, requirements are not fixed. Client can change the requirement at any time. Budget is not fixed. Requirements are not fixed. In Agile methodology, Agile is one of the Sdlc methodology. In Agile methodology, requirements are not fixed. Requirements are not fixed and budget is also not fixed. Budget also not fixed. So client can change the requirement at any time. If the requirements are changed, then budget is going to change. So in today's market, every day requirements are changing. People are coming up with the new requirements, new ideas. So we need to change the requirements very frequently. So client can change the requirement very frequently. If today morning, if client get a new idea that we need to implement in the project, tomorrow if we get new idea, we need to implement in the project. So that's why nowadays IT companies are following Agile methodology to develop and deliver the project. In Agile methodology, requirements are not fixed and budget is also not fixed. Agile is an iterative approach to develop and deliver the project. Waterfall is a linear approach. Agile methodology is an iterative approach. That means it is a continuous approach to develop and deliver the project. Agile is an iterative approach to develop and deliver the project. Agile is an iterative approach to develop and deliver the project. Waterfall is a what kind of approach? Waterfall is a linear approach, whereas Agile is a linear approach, and Agile is an iterative approach. Agile is an iterative approach. Iterative nothing but continuous. Iterative nothing but continuous. Nowadays, IT companies are following Agile methodology to develop and deliver the project. In Agile methodology, requirements are not fixed and budget is also not fixed. Based on the client requirement, we need to develop the project. Clients can change the requirement at any point of time. In Agile methodology, client can change the requirement. Client can change requirement at any point of time. In Agile methodology, client can change the requirement at any point of time. Agile is an iterative approach to develop and deliver the project to client. To develop and deliver the project to the client. In Agile methodology, development, testing, and delivery will happen parallelly. In Agile methodology, development, testing, and delivery will happen parallelly. Development and testing will happen parallelly in Agile methodology. In Agile methodology, development and testing will happen collaboratively. development and testing will happen collaboratively. Development and testing will happen collaboratively in the Agile methodology. Agile methodology is a continuous approach, or we can say it is a iterative approach to develop and deliver the project to the client. In Agile methodology, development and testing will happen collaboratively. Waterfall is a linear approach. Now let us see Agile methodology. Now, can you see the image of Agile methodology? This is the image of waterfall methodology, right? Let us see the image of the Agile methodology. The difference you can observe between waterfall and waterfall and Agile. In the waterfall, everything is one after other. It is a sequence. Agile methodology is a cyclic process. It is like a cyclic process. Plan. I think this diagram is not clear. Let me take this. Now you can see this. First one is requirements gathering. Second one is the design, then development, then test it, then deploy, then review, then deliver. Then once again requirements gathering, designing, development, testing, deployment, review, then deliver, then again gathering the requirements. So it is a cyclic process, guys. Whenever client change a requirement, we are going to follow all these steps in our project. When the client has given the requirement, we are going to complete this cycle. Then again client has given the requirement, we are going to complete this cycle. Again client has given the requirement, we are going to complete this cycle. If requirements are increasing, our cycles are going to increase and our budget is also going to increase. So for here, first client has given the requirements, one cycle. Then client has given another requirement, then second cycle, then third cycle, fourth cycle, fifth cycle, sixth cycle, like this. So if the requirements are increasing, then our cycles are going to increase in the Agile methodology. Requirements are not fixed, budget is not fixed. So as per the client requirements, we are going to develop and deliver. Waterfall is a linear approach, one after other. Agile is a iterative approach to develop and deliver our projects. Are you guys able to understand the difference? Are you guys able to understand the difference between waterfall methodology and Agile methodology? So I just gave a definition for Agile. Agile is an iterative approach to develop and deliver the project to the client. So in the tomorrow session, we are going to understand more details about Agile methodology. So tomorrow we will do the postmortem on the Agile methodology. So information we are going to understand now. Some terminology will be there in the Agile methodology. If you see, there is a concept called the sprint available. So tomorrow I'm going to explain you the more details about Agile methodology. The more details about the Agile methodology that we are going to understand in the tomorrow session. So here clearly they have given one image. Comparison between the waterfall and Agile. Waterfall is a linear approach. Agile is a iterative approach to develop the projects. So waterfall, Agile both comes under SDLC methodologies. SDLC means software development lifecycle. The process of implementing a software project from beginning to ending is called as development lifecycle. There are several phases available in the development lifecycle. We need to complete all these phases to complete one project from beginning to ending. So these two are the methodologies that we need to know: waterfall methodology and Agile methodology. So tomorrow we will continue our discussion related to Agile methodology. You may get a doubt. Ashok, why are you teaching SDLC? We are the DevOps engineers now. Why we need to know about SDLC? As a DevOps engineer, you are going to involve in all the phases of the SDLC in the project. Not only DevOps engineer, a developer will involve in the SDLC, tester will involve in the SDLC, operations team also should involve in the SDLC. So tomorrow when you go for interview, they may ask you, which SDLC methodology using in your project. What is the difference between waterfall methodology and agile methodology? These are common interview questions for the DevOps engineers. So that's the reason we are getting the clarity on software development lifecycle, how a project will be developed in the IT companies, that clarity we are getting, and what are the methodologies the companies are going to follow. Those things also we are trying to understand. So today we understood what is waterfall and what are the problems with the waterfall. And we just started the introduction part for Agile. We just started the introduction part for the Agile. So tomorrow we'll complete our discussion related to Agile methodology. Today I will share the class notes and portal access for the people who completed the enrollment process, guys. By today afternoon, you will get an email with all the details to access the class notes and class videos also. Thank you.